Hey guys, it's Eric here. As I mentioned before in the vlog a few days ago, I think it was a week ago now. I had some problems with my computer. I had a bit of a crash, which means that I had lost a lot of recordings, and that kind of sucks for me because I lost the rest of session 4, 5, and 6 for Mutant Year Zero, and the first session of Mutant Gen Lab Alpha. That really freaking sucks. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to summarize how Mutant Year Zero, the general campaign, how we finished it off. This was just the introductory campaign. I'm not sure if it's available in the English version. It's available in the Swedish version, so that's the one we played. So kind of fun. Then when we're done with whatever we're doing in the other expansions, we're going to go back to the zone and play out the meta plot. So are you guys ready to hear a story? Right? Yes, let me drink a little bit here. So when we ended, well, in the last episode of Dragon Ball Z. Well, last episode, I believe, was Session 4, Part 3, where they were gathering the troops within the Ark. I can't remember how exactly that part ended, but I know that they were gathering as many allies as they could within the Ark in preparation to topple Sixter and his mad power grab in the Ark. As they are gathering everyone, Sixter shows up with his crew, which is basically half the Ark, and a big battle ensues. So we have the final battle between our friends, the characters, and the big bad evil guy, Sixter, with his mutants, who are actually, they are the brothers and sisters of the characters and their own allies. So it becomes a big fight where they themselves try, they are fighting, but they are trying, of course, not to kill anyone. And as far as I remember, they don't kill anyone of their friends. I think they just really, really hurt a few of them. They fight through the big crowds of these about 150 mutants that are fighting each other like crazy in the Ark. And they manage to get up on the bridge to find Sixter, overlooking everything with madness just pouring out of his freaking head, more or less, because Sixter is a mentally mutated human, or he is a psionic mutant. They find out Sixter does his evil guy speech and informs them that he killed Mama Jones with his thoughts, and the same with oh my god, I can't remember what the previous the skipper, the previous leader of the Ark, the skipper, he used his mind doing a fucking Dr. X on them, making them stab themselves in the throat and then jumping off the bridge to kill themselves. His megalomania has really fucked him up completely. And Fugo, in a religious mania, just yells out and runs forward and stabs Sixter to death in cold freaking blood before Sixter even manages to use his mutations. Thus ends Session 4. We return in Session 5, where the Ark, now, after the battle, everybody's trying to get their wounds treated. A new leader is supposed to be found within the Ark, and they can't really agree upon who should lead them anymore. So it ends up with the group deciding as a council to, instead of having one strong leader, to have 3. So they create a troika. Very communist style here, but no, we haven't gotten to the tech level yet where they can decide on democracy or anything like that. So they have just chosen the 3 strongest bosses to be in charge of everything, rather than just one boss to be in charge of everything. They soon hammer out a deal with the animal mutants from the animal towers. The problem is that the Ark is not that well developed yet, so they can't really, like sell weapons or anything like that. But they can offer the animals food and relative friendship, at least. So the group goes out with a caravan of supplies to the animal towers to... Well, they aren't doing that the first thing they do. They need to clear the way for possible merchant caravans in the future. So they travel south along the map down to the old train station closer to the city center, where a razorback is hiding. And here they set up a trap for the animal and lure it out. And this gigantic beast, razorbacks are... is actually the name of an old Australian monster feature with a giant warthog or wild boar or something is killing people in the outback. So imagine yourselves seeing a giant mutated, let's say a wild boar. His back goes almost 2.5 meters up, and he's about 6 meters from snout to tail, and is extremely aggressive. This is the animal that they're going to fight. Remember, though, that the razorback might be very territorial and very angry, but it's a herbivore. Actually, it's an omnivore, like pigs. This one subsists mostly on small, like roots and vegetables and stuff like that, but it can eat carrion. So it happens that it kills people, and when they've gotten a little bit extra soft, it will eat them. So they set up a trap and lure it out, with Nash being one of the people in the front line. Nash, being this big hulking brute of a mutant, charges up his fist and pounds the frickin' razorback in the snout, almost felling it in one blow. Soon after that, the animal mutants that are their allies fire their bows and pierce the side of the boar, bringing the razorback down, dead. And they bring it back to the Ark, which gives them so much food. Solving most of their food dilemma, they also finish another field of plants. I think it was like potatoes this time. So they have bacon and potatoes. Bacon and chips, They set off down to the animal towers. Now when the way is cleared, they have little problems traveling through the zone further down. 1.5 days later, they enter the towers. The Grand Alpha Tesla is very happy to see the group again, but she is saddened, and so are the other Alphas, that they can't get much more support than the characters themselves against the thinking machines. As they settle in for the evening, most of them travel to the Canine Tower to enjoy some much needed R&R with alcohol and howling and barking at the moon. As they are about to go back to the center tower, they see that they hear a commotion, seeing that the apes are fighting each other. The Alphas of the dogs shouts a war cry and attacks the Grand Alpha. The reptiles also do that. So I'm trying to remember who else were in the fight. The bears come over and they stand with the Grand Alpha against the others. This is a coup attempt by Archimedes, who is tired of Tesla being too friendly and not taking what she needs. Archimedes believes that the mutants, well, they are mutants, are not true humans. They are not the creator gods that they believe by tradition, these animals. So he wants to overthrow the Grand Alpha and create an animal paradise in the zone. The fight is really taxing for the characters. They fight really hard. Nash manages to neutralize his opponent without killing it. It was a canine. smiles, finds a reptile and kills it. Fugo does the same. I think he kills an ape. But Grunt is the one that we're going to focus on. He has a really hard fight against a mutated opponent. I can't remember if it was a lizard. I think it was a reptile. I think it was a lizard. They are fighting, but his player rolls really poorly, which means that Nash gets hits over and over again. And in a final suicidal attack, he yells out like his friend Fugo always does. And so does the lizard. And they jump on each other and they stab each other until one of them will fall dead. Luckily for Nash, his opponent dies first. But not without piercing Grunt's jugular artery, the carotid artery. This leaves him lying on the ground, ready to bleed out and die at any second. The other characters rally around their friend, trying to save him, and they start to apply first aid. All of them fail. Fugo, in desperation, finds Callisto, his, as we have called her, his wolf girlfriend, and an incredible set of dice roll I haven't seen in a long time. The character is given 2 dice to roll. They need 2 6s to save and stop stop Grunt from bleeding out. Callisto gets 2 dice. She needs 2 successes. They roll, and they come up 2 6s. In the last round, Grunt is severely anemic, but he survives to fight another day. Just as they finally have saved their friend, they hear a whirring sound in the tower. Right above them is a robotic drone. And a new enemy appears in the arena, which stops the animal mutants from fighting each other. The robots are here. The thinking machines have decided to attack and clear out all mutation in the zone, which means both animal and mutant alike. The people and the animals are threatened, and the fight ensues. All the animals unite in the common cause against the enemy, the evil thinking machines, the Watchers that they've hated and escaped so long ago. The characters join the fight, and after several hours of fighting, the robots retreat from the towers. That is the end of session 5. At the start of the 6th session, the animals that have the alphas that rebelled against the Grand Alpha Tesla are put on trial. Well, actually, there's only one alive, and that's Lemmy. Nobody likes Lemmy. We're using the Wheel of Fortune. I think it's the Wheel of Fortune. They roll, and Lemmy lands on exile. He's forever exiled and outlawed in the zone. He might appear some other day. Who knows? With the thinking machines now loose in the zone and ready to kill at any moment, the Grand Alpha is gathering the troops and looking after the wounded, and she sends out the player characters to do on a scouting missions to find out where the thinking machines are. As they saw in the absolutely first session, there was a blinding light in the sky that fell to the ground east in the zone. They start their travel eastward. After 2.5 days, I think it's even 3 days, they have managed to get through the zone and avoid most of the dangers that they might have found. Seeing a giant wheel that has fallen from the sky is called the Wheel of Heaven. It fell from the sky, from orbit, and crash landed here. Robots are outside, taking care of and clearing out debris. As they are sneaking about, they are found by a small robot called Katinka. Katinka is a friendly robot. She is very curious and she wants to find out about this new land that they have ended up in. All humans aboard the space station died upon re-entry and impact with the Earth. She sees that they are humanoid, but they are not human. She tries to verify their humanity by giving them a test. After a while of thinking, the players pass the test and are deemed to be human. Katinka explains to them about what's happening right now, and that all robots are subservient to one main coordinating robot called Edmund. Soon after this, they are found out by Sentinels, and the Sentinels bring them aboard to be taken care of. Katinka brings them to her medical bay aboard the Wheel of Heaven, where they are all healed, which also takes care of Grunt's anemic situation. Soon the characters start sneaking about the Wheel of Heaven, trying to find out where this Edmund is and see if they can talk sense into him. Soon they find him in the center of the wheel, in the hub. Edmund has been damaged in the impact, and so believes Katinka. Upon trying to speak with Edmund, they soon find that his mind is cracked, and they attack him. Within moments, they manage to destroy the corrupted units, releasing all robots from his thrall. Katinka thanks the characters, and all robots start to scatter out into the zone. Katinka decides to follow the characters to the Ark because she is curious about this new land. And that is the end of the introductory campaign in Mutant Year Zero. We're going to continue it, as I said in the beginning, in a full campaign with hopefully more characters like animals and robots and even unmutated humans, where we explore the main meta plot of the game. But that will be in the future. Next up will be the expansion Mutant Year Zero GenLab Alpha.